Welcome, welcome, welcome to Sam Roberts Show, live here every day now, in case you hadn't heard. I'm sure you've heard by now. The buzz is out there. Every day here on Opie Radio, XM 103, Sirius 206. So much to do today. I don't know how I'm going to squeeze it all in, but I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to do my goddamnedest to do it. So much going on. We're going to cover everything going on in the news and all that. Well, maybe not every single thing, but the stuff that I'm entertained by anyway. Phil Heath is going to be here. He's Mr. Olympia. He's as big as a goddamn house. He's huge. I don't know how we're going to fit him into the Sam Roberts party room, the massive Lincoln Center studio that Sam Roberts Show comes out of every day, but we'll try. Also coming in today, Andy Buckley. You know him from The Office. He's now, he's going to be in the new Jurassic Park movie. And I'm told he's a delight. That's actually why I booked him. I was told by my friend Michelle that he's a delight and I should have him on. So we'll be the judge of that. And here on the daily version of the show for the first time, Friday regular, Nicole Ryan.
What's going on?
Welcome. Welcome to the new Sam Roberts Show, Nicole.
This is very, very exciting.
Are you excited?
A little bit. I'm nervous that I don't know. I feel like the big guy. Does he need to sit on my lap? Do I need to sit on his lap?
Well, today is really about hooking you up with him.
No, I don't know if Matt would be into that.
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
He's way bigger than Matt.
Okay.
It's not. I've been, we've been thinking a lot about this Caitlyn Jenner thing. I'm talking about it. Who Kid was in here yesterday.
Okay.
Who Kid's opinion was,
I'd love to hear this.
Caitlyn Jenner is a cuckoo bird.
Oh, cuckoo bird?
Yeah,
was that a direct quote?
That, Bruce Jenner is out of his mind nuts.
Okay.
And so that's where he's at. That's pretty much the beginning and end of it.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to call up the show, by the way, the number's 866-969-1969. That's 866-969-1969 to talk to yours truly, Sam Roberts and Nicole Ryan. I'm going to tell you, though, everybody's calling Caitlyn Jenner a hero.
Yeah.
You know who she...
Not Snoop. You heard what Snoop said.
Didn't Snoop call her a science project?
Bit of a science project.
Well, I mean, I could...
It's not terribly nice.
It's not nice. It's a solid argument.
It's his opinion. That's what I would say.
I would think that the doctors that perform whatever operations that Bruce Jenner's had, Caitlyn Jenner's had, which he's definitely had some, because he doesn't look that much like Bruce Jenner anymore.
Right.
Does he still have a dick? They're saying he probably does.
Yeah.
But he definitely doesn't have an Adam's apple.
No, he admitted that was shaved off.
And you know who does that?
Doctors who
are scientists.
Right. So
making him a... You can make the argument.
Okay, I understand what you're saying.
Making her a... But the real person that he's a hero to are these Duggars. This should be, the Duggars story should be the thing that everybody is talking about.
I mean, people are.
It's kind of floated, not like they're talking about Caitlyn Jenner.
Of course not.
No, because Annie Leibovitz is not taking a picture of that little Duggar kid molesting his sisters.
He's not a little Duggar kid anymore.
How old is he?
He's the oldest. I think he's married, I think expecting a child. He's like in his 20s or 30s.
But when he was molesting his sisters, he was young.
He was like 14.
That's what makes this story so weird. So the Duggar family are the 19 kids and counting.
Right.
And boy, are they counting.
They are.
The story is that their one son, the oldest son, when he was still young, he was like 14, I guess, was molesting tons of young girls.
Inappropriately touching, and I think out of curiosity while they were sleeping. I don't think there was any, there was no actual sex or anything.
Right.
Doesn't
so
make
it's
that
like,
okay.
No. It's like only good guys like Bill Cosby do that when women are unconscious. It's like they didn't say no.
Right.
They weren't conscious.
Right.
He was like touching young girls. He was a young boy at the time.
Right.
So it's not as clear cut as these things normally are. But two of the young girls that he was touching were his sisters.
Yeah.
Who were like 11 and 12 or something like that.
They didn't even know about it at the time, though. They were sleeping.
Well, yeah. Apparently he has a very gentle touch.
Apparently.
When he was touching them. And I don't know exactly what he was doing, but the Duggars, I don't know if they're trying to get ahead of the story or if they're just trying to take control of it. I don't know why
They're not ahead of it.
They're way behind it. Why you would, and I think this question was posed to them, but why a family would decide that they should do a reality show. Doing a reality show is like being a politician.
Right.
Like, you kind of have to vet yourselves. You have to go through your history. Mm-hmm. You have to figure out, is this the right move? You know, what are people going to dig up? Because what are people going to dig about the Duggars?
I like that.
That's right. Is what they should have been thinking about. Because, you have to realize that no matter what your point of view is, especially the Duggars, who are like this kind of conservative religious family,
right?
They're gonna formulate enemies.
Totally.
Which is fine, but when you start having enemies, that's why I always make sure my tracks are covered. Because all I do in my life is make enemies, but I make sure nobody's got shit on me.
That's why I try not to make enemies, because there's plenty of shit to have on me.
But you're smart, Nicole.
Yeah.
You come on here and you talk about your partying days. You talk about the wild sexual orgies that you had for the majority of your life.
The
majority of your life.
Totally.
You talk about everything that went on. You've had a kid for a year. Things have changed. But before that, just the debaucherous, immoral way in which you lived your life, you present it to all of us.
Yeah, I don't lie about it. I'm a human being, as we all are.
That's what makes it not dirt.
Okay.
Because it's out there.
Right. Okay. I'm not hiding it.
If you were doing a reality show, nobody would have to research you. They'd just be like, oh, I remember listening to Sam's show.
Right.
One time she had a threesome on a beach while a Mexican watched.
Totally.
It happened. It happened. And she kept doing it after she realized the Mexican was watching.
I mean, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Sofia Vergara was just sitting there going like, hi, Papi.
Don't think she's Mexican, actually.
It's very similar, though.
I think she's Colombian.
It's very, very similar.
All right.
But
Latina.
To know, that's what I meant when I said Mexican.
Right.
To know, that's a colloquial term for Latina.
I got you.
To know that you have this just sitting there. Because they didn't, before the show started, be like, look, a lot of people are going to say a lot of things. What's his name? When he was the David Patterson, when he took over the governorship, when Elliot Spitzer got thrown out of politics because he was fucking prostitutes.
Him and his socks.
Yeah. When Elliot Spitzer got thrown out, he did leave his socks on, didn't he?
Socks. I was into that.
So fucking weird.
So nerdy.
His weird black socks that left marks on his thighs.
Not hot at all.
Not his thighs, his calves.
I mean, I hope his socks weren't up to his thighs.
I don't know. He probably had pretty high socks if he wanted to leave them up. But so Elliot Spitzer has secrets. So he gets thrown out of office. David Patterson comes in, and his first speech is like, look, before I start laying down the law, just know I've cheated on my wife and snorted some coke.
Right.
Smart.
Very smart. Brilliant, even.
Because what are you going to do?
Nothing. It's all out there.
The Duggars, on the other hand, they went out and said, we're going to do a reality show about how much we like to have sex and make children because we're Christians. We're good people, and our kids are good people. So if anybody says anything else, they're wrong.
I don't know if they preach that they love to have sex. But
how many kids?
It's clear.
How many kids?
No, so they don't. It's not so much the sex. It's that they don't. It's that
was
they
it
don't,
immaculate conception?
She's not into popping the old pill.
Yeah, she's into getting some dick, popping the dick.
Okay.
That's what she gets.
I'm sorry. Apologize for interrupting.
She doesn't like to ingest pills, but she does ingest seed, and it's happened at least 19 times. At
least.
I would think more.
Probably.
There's probably a couple of times it didn't pan out.
Right, but we know for sure 19.
19 times.
Yeah.
She had a dick in her.
Right.
For sure. So that's not a secret. Nobody's going to be able to come out and be like, this woman likes to have sex.
Right.
She's like, of course I do. I have 19 kids. Right. But what was a secret was that their son was molesting their daughters when he was like a tween.
Daughters and others. Other girls.
So it wasn't just the daughters.
Right.
It's such a weird story because the defense of him is, like you were saying, well, they were sleeping and it wasn't rape. It wasn't full out rape. He didn't rape anybody.
Right.
And it's not pedophilia because he was 14.
Right. And then, I mean, they do make a point. In the dictionary, that would not fall under because he's not an adult yet.
I don't think it is pedophilia. Right. This isn't a case of an adult liking to touch kids. This is a case of a kid who liked to touch other kids.
It's just in the case of a creepy kid. That's it.
What nobody's...
Creepy and confused kid. That's what this case is.
So the quote, they were on Fox News last night.
I saw.
Because I guess they were thinking, well, that's a conservative news network. We're going to have the easiest time there.
1,000,000%.
But... it's not a political issue. It's like, how do you skirt around this thing? The quote was... I
think they thought they'd be the easiest on them.
Do you think they were?
I think that they were a little... They didn't attack as much as another news source might.
So...
They go for the jugular.
I guess not. No, they didn't. They definitely didn't go for the jugular. They asked questions.
Yes.
I guess Josh is the kid.
Yes.
Who molested the other kids.
Correct.
And his parents said that he came to them and said he was crying.
Yes.
Which I bet he wasn't crying.
Yeah.
But he was crying and saying he had touched his young sisters when they were asleep. And they're quoted saying, we had one ray of hope in that Josh had a tender conscience.
Right, because he didn't try to continue to hide it. He was like, this is wrong and I'm telling you. I did this.
Here's my problem with it.
Okay.
He kept molesting after he told them.
And he continued to cry, or maybe they added that part, continued to confess.
Right. So he confesses. He's like, I'm sorry I did this. It was wrong. And they were like, you know what? Jesus forgives you. He was like, great. So I can keep doing it?
Apparently.
They were like, no, that's not what we meant. That's not what Jesus meant. And he goes and he keeps touching kids. Nobody's really bringing up that this is not a story of a pedophile. This is a story of a creepy incest kid.
Right. And confused.
Confused about what?
I mean, that whether
he definitely wanted to touch his sisters.
I think he's confused as to what's underneath clothes, and maybe he was just. I'm not saying it's okay.
You think he was searching? Like he was like, let me give myself a lesson.
What's there? What does it look like? What does it feel like?
I think he just wanted to put his fingers in some stank.
And I don't think he put anything inside. And don't say that.
I think that he probably just wanted to put his fingers in some stank. I know when I was 14, that was something that interested me. Right. I decided to wait several years. And I mean several years, at least probably a good 4 years.
At least.
And wait for somebody to give me permission to do so.
Right.
But I think the odds are that this kid is fucked up.
Right.
He's a weirdo. He's not a pedophile, he's a weirdo. And he wanted to put his fingers in some stank. And
can you stop using that term?
That's what I think he wanted to do.
Okay.
That's what he was thinking as a 14-year-old.
Okay.
And he's got these sisters, and they're just there, and they're unconscious.
There for the taking.
So he goes, okay, I might as well take advantage of this. Now, everybody's sitting there and being like, look how beautiful Caitlyn Jenner is. And these parents are just forgiving and being like, you know what, people think. And then his dad, I think, said...
Joe Bob or Jim Bob?
Jim Bob Duggar.
Can't we just stick with Jim? Why has it got to be Jim Bob?
When your son is being accused of incest, just go by the first name.
Right?
Anybody who's got a Jim Bob, just go by Jim. Otherwise, Jim Bob?
Doesn't sound,
Oh, I see.
Good old Jim Bob.
That makes sense.
This doesn't work for me.
He goes, their son had inappropriately touched his sisters over their clothes. He made that. Mm-hmm. He said, and a couple of instances where he touched them under their clothes, but it was like a few seconds.
Oh, thanks. Are you sure? Did you count? Did you have a stopwatch?
Yeah, Dad.
Were you in there?
No, I believe him. He seems like a trustworthy guy.
But now this is the thing. Somebody brought this to my attention. Like, what about this theory? This kid is young, right?
He's 14.
He's 14. He's not I don't want to use the word experimenting. He's confused.
He wanted to get his fingers in some stank.
Apparently.
I think.
What's going on in this kid's head or in this kid's house that taught him to even get these thoughts? Is he being touched?
Are they homeschooled, these Duggars?
I think so.
It seems like it, right?
Yeah,
I've never watched 19 Kids and Counting. All the reality shows that are super religious based or have a whole ton of kids. Like Johnny K Plus 8 was a fucked up enough show.
It was awesome.
Yeah, that one, at least you could watch any show with a whole bunch of kids and it's a tale of morality. I'm not interested.
Not really your thing.
When it's a whole bunch of kids and then the husband and wife are just fighting and they're at each other's throats all the time, I'll watch that show every day. But when it just became Kate Plus 8, not interested anymore.
No one
at
was.
all. At all.
Clearly it didn't do very well.
No, it didn't, because they didn't have the Asian guy to get shit on by his white wife all the time.
Oh my God, was she awful?
She was terrible.
She was Satan.
And somehow she came out looking, I guess, sort of the good guy. She's the only one that could go through a divorce, have this guy walk out on her with 8 kids, start wearing Ed Hardy shirts, hanging out with Lindsay Lohan, and she's still not really that sympathetic.
By the way, side note, pretty sure Ed Hardy was not thrilled with his spokesperson.
Well, yeah, I mean, he had his clothing line had just developed such a reputation for not being worn by douchebags, right? Yeah. Let's go to Jay in North Carolina. If you want to call in to Sam Roberts Show, 866-969-1969. That's 866-969-1969. What's going on, Jay?
Hey, Sam. Couple of points on this whole Duggar situation. One, do you think that the quote-unquote Christian parents ever taught their kids the birds and the bees? And two, what do you think the alternate method of birth control after 19 kids is? Because I'm wondering if this lady swallows or not.
I would imagine that at some point he's like, baby, like, I know we love Jesus and we go to church all the time, but I'm going to have to start finishing in your mouth because 19 is too many.
Perhaps.
Maybe a little on the tits. And she said, on the what? And he said, breast. On the breast.
Yeah.
On the chest.
Right.
My darling wife. I meant on the chest. Yeah, you do have to wonder. It's a super religious family. You got to wonder what they were being taught. I would assume nothing. That's why this kid It's like, oh, let me see what a vagina looks like. I'm my sister.
Right. I mean, they weren't being taught nothing. They were being taught specifically from the Bible. So, I mean, I don't want to...
Does the Bible tell you to do that?
I'm just saying...
I haven't read it.
It leaves a lot of questions, is what I'm saying. So,
right.
You know, he was trying to find those answers.
See, this is why every kid needs to grow up with premium cable. Because my dad came to me when I was... probably about that age. I was probably 14. Right. And I'll never forget. I was sitting in front of the computer. He had just gotten home from work. And he said, you know, Sammy, I think it's time we had a talk. And I was like, oh, about what? And he was like, well, about the birds and the bees, about being a man.
How old were you?
I was probably 14.
Okay.
I was like, no, it's fine. He's like, it is? I was like, yeah, I don't need it.
Oh, because you had already found out from premium cable.
He goes, you don't. And I go, no. He goes, well, where'd you learn it from? I go, TV. And you know how I knew he didn't want to have the conversation?
No.
He goes, all right.
We're good here then.
I'm assuming he just went down and... Jerry, did you have that conversation with Sam?
Yep.
Yeah, we have an understanding.
Mm-hmm.
We have an understanding. And then what I would do is I would wait until my mom and dad went to sleep, and I'd go into the living room, and I'd shut the door,
This is so crazy.
and it'd be like Saturday at midnight, and I would go Cinemax, which is now Skinemax, and I learned everything I needed to know by masturbating to softcore pornography.
But was that free at the time, or was that ending up on your parents' bill?
No, they had Cinemax, and it became Skinemax at night. Cinemax plays softcore porn.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, I mean, but this is why it's a valuable lesson. This is why you need to teach your kids. Because I learned everything from softcore porn. So the first time I put in actual porn, and I saw a penis going into a vagina, it blew my fucking mind.
Literally.
Because yeah, because you didn't see that on Skinemax.
Right.
It's like, that's what it looks like?
It was insinuated.
It was almost biological. I was grossed out at first. Then I developed a liking to it.
So you were like, don't hurt her, don't hurt her.
I think, what is this?
You're going to stab her.
I was like watching a kangaroo give birth. It was the least sexual thing ever. And then within a week, I was like, no. Skinemax bullshit doesn't do it for me anymore. It's time to wear out these VHS tapes.
Wow.
But maybe if this Duggar's kid had that,
you're right.
He wouldn't have to put his fingers in his sister's stanks.
Again, you're
maybe
speaking out of turn. Nothing went inside, according to the Duggars or Jim Bob.
But Jim Bob wasn't there. What did Jim Bob go? All right, Josh, I understand. I understand that you're sorry about everything you did, and we trust you. I want you to know your mother and me trust you, but you're gonna have to let me smell those fingers to make sure.
Is this a sub?
You're gonna have to let me smell those fingers.
I don't think that happened. It's an interesting theory. And what's with the Southern accent? Are they from the South?
His name's Jim Bob.
Okay, I mean, yes, it sounds very Southern, but I don't know.
Thank you.
Okay.
Let's go to Eric in Texas. What's going on, buddy?
Hey guys, yeah, they're actually from Arkansas, so they're from the South.
All right.
His name is Jim Bob. They don't do that in Connecticut.
I'm sorry.
But these kids are so sexually repressed. I mean, if you look at this stuff, they can't hug each other face to face. They can't kiss each other until marriage. I mean, it's almost surprising that this is all that's come out.
Yeah, it's true. That's what we have no idea. All the things that are happening behind closed doors that people haven't confessed. Some of these kids haven't confessed.
That's going to be great though, because on Josh's wedding day, his wife's going to be like, look, we can go slowly. He's going to be like, baby, I already know how to do this stuff. I taught myself on my sister when I was 14.
I think they're already married, and I think he's got a kid on the way.
Wrong.
Oh, really?
I think. I could be misspeaking.
I don't know. You're the gossip reporter. Amanda in Wisconsin?
Hi, Sam. So glad you have your own show every day. I absolutely love it.
Me too.
First of all, I watched this interview. The dad, Jim Bob, how disgusting. Do you know what he said?
What?
Well, it's okay because it was only on top of the clothes. It was on top of the clothes.
And a little bit under the clothes, but just real quick.
Just for a few seconds.
Yeah,
a few seconds.
That makes it okay. Like, your kid's a nasty little fuck. Like, what the hell?
That does qualify as being a nasty little fuck. Like, that's the type of thing where you just smack him in the ear and go, you nasty little fuck.
Yeah.
But
what are you
how do
doing?
You justify that? That's one of the sickest parts, I think, is that they're just like, well, shit happens.
I don't think it's that.
No.
I think that they're also like, listen, there is a
what?
Like a spectrum of sexual assault, if you will, right? And so I think that they've been attacked in so many ways because not everybody's sure of the story, that Jim Bob it feels as though it's not as bad as what some people are making it out to be. So I don't think he means to, kind of be like, oh, it's not that big of a deal.
He's from Arkansas. He can't help himself.
Totally.
He can't. Thank you, Amanda. We just posted an article on our Twitter account, SR Show SXM. Let's get it to 1,000 followers today. What do you say? We're at like 800 something.
Okay, I'm in.
You know, I mean, it's embarrassing.
It's not really embarrassing.
We get to 1,000.
You should be proud.
I'm not a proud human being.
Okay.
It says the Duggar family says real crime is the real crime is the release of these molestation records. Supposed to be sealed.
Yeah, that's what they felt like. They did the right thing. They went to the cops. They even turned their own son in, and now they're being punished for it.
They should. They should be punished. Their son is a fucking gross little monkey masturbating in a corner somewhere. He can't control his sexuality.
So is the cop that they told. The cop was doing time for child pornography.
Good.
So they told the wrong cop.
Yeah.
The right cop in their eyes.
Look, I'm going to have to insist you give me a few more details. No. Write it down. How many seconds under the clothes?
Draw it with some crayons.
Jim Bob, I'm going to need you to step outside. I'm going to have to just talk to Josh. Josh, did you say both sisters?
Ugh, I can't even talk about this.
Ren in Canada.
Okay, so I don't know the show real well, but
No.
I don't know which girls were molested, and in no way do I condone any touching of any family members or underage by any means. But
especially in the vaginas.
The one girl that just got married,
Yeah.
she is, you got to admit, she's smoking hot.
Yeah, some of the girls are really pretty.
Yeah.
Jim Bag should have been telling the kid to touch that one if he was going to tell.
Oh, God.
If you're gonna touch, listen, Josh. If you're gonna touch your sisters, we know there's a hot one.
Pick her!
Yeah, you're not a homosexual, are you?
Jim Bag wasn't doing his duties.
That's right. Jim Bob was just happy. He was just like, all right. Well, at least he's not touching his brothers.
Right.
Go ahead, buddy.
What I want to add is that your voice sounds like a dog scratching his asshole across the carpet.
All right. Well, I appreciate you at least making the observations we need to get the show to the place that it needs
Agreed.
to be. You know?
Agreed.
And if you have any other opinions, you can post them
Yeah.
on SR Show SXM. Joe in Virginia?
Yeah, Sam. I just want to say that Lena Dunham also talks about doing something similar to her sister in her autobiography that just came out. And my point here is that I don't know if it's anything particular with the Christian religion suppressing sexuality. I think that kids, just kind of crazy and, messed up people come from all different backgrounds.
Yeah, that really is the worst thing you can do, whether it's a Christian thing or any, it doesn't really matter the religion. The worst thing you can possibly do is to not teach your kids about sexuality because you think, there are people who honestly think that if you teach your kids about sexuality, they're just going to go and stick their dicks in whatever they can find.
Right, that's what they believe.
That's the opposite. One time, I didn't learn about sexuality except through softcore porn. One time when I was growing up, I tried to fuck a bagel.
Wait, what?
I tried to fuck the hole in the bagel.
One more time.
A bagel, I tried to fuck a bagel.
Oh, no.
Because you have to learn somewhere. And I wasn't going to put my fingers in my sister's stank.
Wait, is it
like
you?
Some people.
You also stuck it between couch cushions, or is that another friend of mine?
I don't think I did that.
Okay.
There was too much friction there.
Right.
The bagel, on the other hand.
Right. You were into that?
Sesame seeds.
It was like ribbed. It was like a ribbed.
Yeah, I didn't want shaved. So Dave in Indiana.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, Sam, I love the show, but only one thing missing.
Yeah.
East Side Dave. Don't forget your brother, East Side Dave.
He'll make his way on here at some point, I'm sure.
Okay, now, it's funny you mentioned Cinemax to spank your pud, because when I was a kid, I was poor. I had to do it to scramble Super TV. You remember that?
Absolutely, I did that shit too. When you had the old cable boxes, the pay-per-view channels would be scrambled, and so yeah, you'd jack off to a scrambled side nipple.
And here's how bad it got. Sears Catalog and Soul Train on Saturday.
Sears Catalog?
That's rough, dude. That's pretty bad.
All right, man. Keep it up.
All right, I'll talk to you later. Yeah. But it is the one thing you could take away from this.
Yeah.
If you have that many kids, this is the weird thing, that Josh Duggar is the oldest son.
Yeah.
You would think if you had 19 kids, by the time you got to like 16, 17 is when you'd start getting the real fuck-ups.
Right.
They started fucked up. So I can't imagine how bad like the 16th, 17th, 18th kid are going to be.
No, but imagine how hard it must be. I'm not like saying I feel bad for him. Imagine
You
how
talking
hard.
about his dick?
No, well that too. But how hard it must be for him because he's the first, and if there's 19, it's like you're slowly forgotten, and your family just keeps in your mind probably getting more and more effed up. It's just like
you can say fucked
up.
Yeah.
It's like you got a zoo, right, of kids.
Yeah.
And it just must feel like maybe he was acting out a little bit.
He's like, why doesn't anyone pay attention to me?
Maybe.
Oh, they'll pay attention to me now.
Don't know if that's the way it sounded.
I don't know. I wasn't there, and neither was Jim Bob.
He was told there was no penetration.
Yeah, he was told that. Chris, the teacher, can we have an update here on Sam Roberts' show?
All right. I am not home.
Oh, fuck. Chris, the teacher, took 3 days. Oh, where are you?
I'm at my buddy's house.
Okay, Chris, the teacher, has taken the last 4 days off work from teaching his children because he wants to be home so he can listen to the debut week of Sam Roberts' show.
For real?
That's right.
This is amazing.
That's why I think we should have over 1,000 Twitter followers at SR Show SXM.
100%, dude. I'm going for the whole week. I actually had to call to check how many sick days I had to keep this going.
Good, you're making the best of them.
Yeah, me and my boy just kind of hanging out, day drinking, and listening to your show.
Perfect.
Well, I should be doing something else, but I gotta defend this kid.
What?
I know, but hear me out. Please, just hear me out, dude.
All right.
You figure there's I don't know nothing about this show. There's 19 of them, right?
Yeah. It's Johnny K plus 19.
Didn't we all just have that cousin that we liked and we wouldn't mind throwing it in? At this point, there's like 19.
Right.
They're like cousins. They're barely even acquainted.
But
doesn't feel like a sibling.
Here's the difference. We all did absolutely have that cousin that we would throw one to, but most of us didn't throw one to her.
No, you just thought it in your brain.
That's fine. I don't have a problem with Josh Duggar thinking, well, I'm not that close. My 12-year-old sister, I'd really like to put something in there, but never actually doing it. Right. These are the fucked up thoughts that go through your mind when you're a 14-year-old boy and your hormones are starting to act up and you've been taught the Bible, but no Dr. Ruth books. Now, to actually go through to the next step and touch your sisters, that's where you become a serial killer.
I mean,
it's really not like his sister. It's an acquaintance. It's 19. It's almost like a classmate.
Oh, I didn't know. Yeah, we haven't talked in a week.
No, but for real, it's not the norm to have that many kids and people living under one roof. It probably doesn't, it's like it becomes numb to you a little bit.
Yeah, but you know what's not numb? When your brother puts his fingers in you.
Perhaps.
That's not numb at all. Right. Unless you're asleep, I guess. All right, Chris, keep the dream alive. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
May I just say one word to the beautiful Nicole, please?
Of course.
Nicole.
Yeah.
I made an off-color comment to you on Twitter to which you replied, and I just wanted to apologize about that.
Oh, I know exactly who this is. By the way, bud, I weigh less than before I had the kid. Just
you look fantastic.
All right, buddy. I'll talk to you
very
later.
Sweet.
It was.
All right. Look, I'm sorry, Chris, the teacher. Keep drinking, though. Let's go to Butch in California.
Hey, Sammy, what's going on, man?
How you doing, pal?
Hey, I'm just curious. How come with all this crap going on, nobody calls CPS now and start going through the whole family?
Well, because now it's old. Now the kid. Are there still young kids in that house?
Yes, there's like a 5-year-old, I think.
Jesus Christ, this chick loves to bang. This mother just loves fucking Jim Bob.
She just loves not to swallow birth control.
She
That's
doesn't
what it's
like
all
birth
about.
control.
I don't know if it's that she loves to bang.
I think they absolutely should have some kind of child protective services going in there. I mean, if you have 19 kids and the first one is touching his sisters, you probably got another molester in there.
But you think about it, they're not the only family that lives this way. Do you have any families that are not on television that have this many kids? Probably more, and that even worse things are going on in those households. So child protective services needs to
House of Horrors?
Yeah.
They're interviewing the daughters on Fox News tonight, Jessa and Jill. We'll talk about that tomorrow. But the quote from the preview is Jessa, who said, I do want to speak up in his defense against people who are calling him a child molester or a pedophile or a rapist. Some people are saying, I'm like, that is so overboard and a lie, really. I mean, people get mad at me for saying that, but I can say this because I was one of the victims.
They're taught you forgive, they're almost brainwashed. You forgive, you forgive, you forgive.
What she's not acknowledging is that rape and child molestation and pedophilia are not the only bad things.
Right.
Like he's not a pedophile or a rapist. He is an incestual weirdo.
Yeah.
That I'm okay saying.
Okay.
And she should be okay hearing it. Ram, let's go to you. What's up, pal?
Hey, what's going on, Sam?
What's your name, Ram?
Ram. He's like Dodge Ram.
Yeah.
He's built Dodge tough.
Ram it, like Ram it. Hey, I was going to tell you. Do you think they ruined this kid forever, though? Well, he's a grown man now, but he was 14, and I'm not justifying what he did, but, I mean, he was 14. I mean, so is his life over now with something he did weird at 14, which is really creepy, but...
Yeah, it's kind of it's kind of over for him.
Wasn't he running for some sort of political office, or did I make that up also?
I have no clue.
I feel like I heard that, and that...
I would vote for him.
Would you?
He gets some shit done.
Okay.
And when he wants the answer to a question, when he needs to find something out, when he's curious about something, he finds out.
If my mom talked with that voice that his mother talked with, I'd probably touch my sisters, too. That's so goddamn annoying the way she talks.
You got to do something just to create chaos. Just to create chaos.
You know what annoys me more than anything?
What?
Her hair. Michelle Duggar's hair is not good. His voice, his name, and her hair.
What does her hair look like?
Have you ever seen it?
I don't know.
It's like polygamist hair a little bit.
It is?
Yeah, it's like, it's not a good look, and it looks creepy, and you're like, of course you had a son who did something like this.
Yeah.
Her hair says it all.
Let's go to Julie in Jersey. Julie, welcome to Sam Roberts Show.
Hey, what's up, guys?
How you doing?
So, listen, I totally adopted sons through Child Protective Services in New Jersey, and their siblings are still living with a grandparent. And we found out after we adopted that the older sibling was sharing a couch with the older sister that molested my kid's birth mom. And Child Protective Services knew it. And they're still living like that.
They can't do anything about it?
I'm saying this is happening everywhere.
They don't even care.
Oh, my God.
They give no shits.
No shit's given? No fucks given? My God. Well.
Zero kind of fucks that this 11-year-old boy is sharing a couch with the person who molested my kid's birth mom.
That's so fucking strange.
And I'm like,
yeah, that's so. What a convoluted. You could write a book and go on Oprah and have her cry for you, I think.
Well, let's make it happen, dude. Because my kids are fucked up.
You know,
Thank you, Julie.
Oprah was supposed to be on the first Sam Roberts show.
She was.
For the bang, but
she was.
You know, she canceled last minute.
Yeah, but she'll be on next week, so Julie will call back for that.
Sure.
We have so much to get to today. I can't talk about these Duggars all day.
No, me neither. Thanks.
No. I want to talk about the latest with Caitlyn Jenner, too.
Yes.
I want to play for you. There's this video that came out yesterday. It's got like 8 million views on Vine already.
6 seconds, that's it, huh?
Yeah. And it's the only video I've seen since leaving school that's finally made me want to go back. I hated school.
Really?
And I finally want to go back because of this graduation video that people were sending me last night. So we'll talk about that. But coming up next, I'm going to hook Nicole up with Phil Heath. He's Mr. What is he? Mr. Olympia. He's the size of a fucking house.
I'm scared.
Did you see the photos I posted on Instagram?
Yeah, but I mean, this is like a small photo, like on my phone. I'm scared once he actually walks near me.
He doesn't even look like a person.
Okay.
He's an animal.
Okay.
We'll get to Phil Heath. We've also got Andy Buckley coming in today. So much to get to on Sam Roberts Show. Don't you dare move. Welcome back. Sam Roberts Show. Here on Opie Radio. 866-969-1969 if you want to call in. 866-969-1969. You hear that, Duggars? God's going to cut you down. Johnny Cash knows it. He's got to tell these Duggars defending their weirdo incestual son. Well.
Did you just dedicate a song to the Duggars?
That's what I do. They're listening. Everybody's listening to Sam Roberts Show. If you want to follow along, you can follow us on Twitter. SR Show SXM. We're tweeting out photos from the studio. And you're going to want to see what these photos look like. Because Phil Heath, Mr. Olympia, just walked in here. And you are the size of a house, my friend. What's going on?
Well, thanks for having me on, yeah.
He's a lot bigger than you, Sam.
He's a lot bigger than this room. I'm surprised he could fit in here. That's what a lot of people were wondering, because everybody's seen photos of the studio on the Twitter account and everything.
Right.
It's not the largest studio I've ever broadcasted in.
Yeah.
And they were wondering if, after I posted your picture on Instagram last night, how on earth you were going to fit into this room.
Yeah, we had to fit in sideways through the door.
You did it, though.
What is life like. So you're the current Mr. Olympia, is that correct?
Yes.
Current reigning defending?
Current reigning and defending.
What does defending entail?
Well, I go against the best in the world in bodybuilding.
Mm-hmm.
The Mr. Olympia contest is the Super Bowl of bodybuilding. There's only been 13 people that have actually won it in this 51-year history. It is not the Mr. Universe. It is actually above all contests in the world.
How have only 13 people have won?
Only 13. So usually when you win, obviously you go on a run.
So is bodybuilding, like, is that something you can do deep into your life?
As far as you know,
like most
lifestyle,
most athletics, you got to quit 35, 40. It's like you're kind of done.
We're learning now that with different types of training techniques and just with the evolution of the sport, we're starting to see bodybuilders actually win contests in their early to mid 40s. Recently, we had a gentleman win the Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic, who was actually 45 years old, and that was very impressive to see someone actually still compete past 35. And right now I'm 35, so knowing that I can have another 5, maybe possibly 10 years barring injury, that's pretty good.
What? Go ahead, Nicole.
Who are the guys that like pull the cars and stuff? That's not you, right?
No.
Can you pull a car? You probably could.
I'm sure you could.
I'm sure we could.
Maybe one.
Maybe a few feet, right?
All right. Who are those guys?
The strongman.
Strongman.
They're
Okay.
fucking like bite down on a rope and pull a truck across a parking lot.
Yeah.
But those guys always look like kind of fat.
Well, a lot of them, they have a different purpose, right? So their purpose isn't for aesthetics. Their purpose is for just raw, brute strength. And actually, the world's strongest man lives in Colorado, just like me. So Brian Shaw.
Yeah.
So it's pretty impressive. Like, we both have the best bodybuilder in the world and the world's strongest man. It's pretty neat.
Yeah. Would Colorado just breed these freaks of nature?
I guess so.
Yeah. You were a basketball player in college, correct?
Yes, at the University of Denver.
You can't play basketball this size.
No, not the same way.
No, you don't have the air that you used to, I would imagine.
Not at all. We're not slam dunking like I used to.
So when did you make the transition from basketball to bodybuilding?
After the 2002 season, we played in the Sun Belt Conference tournament, lost the first round, and I kind of looked at myself and was like, what the heck am I going to do with my life?
Wow.
And,
you're like, I could lift up very heavy things repetitively.
Let's do it.
What's crazy is that I didn't really understand that whole lifestyle until maybe a few months after playing basketball, starting to go to just a regular student gym on campus, and there's some guys interested in bodybuilding, and I just asked them questions like about the sport and watch them transform their bodies while they're watching them compete. And then I just got the wild hair out my butt and was like, all right, let's do it, man. Like, let's just see what I can do. And the next thing you know, I won my first 7 shows.
Jesus.
Yeah.
The first 7. So what was the 8th one like? Were you like, fuck, I'm done?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Actually, I was really pissed off. I got 5th at the 2007 Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic.
How do you
Columbus.
go first, 5th?
Yeah,
you didn't make top 3?
He's reminding me that I sucked at one time.
Yeah, you're terrible. Well, here's what happened. You got cocky. You were like, nah, I'm not going to bench for a couple weeks. I'll whatever. Oh, chicken McNuggets, that's cool. And then what happened? 5th place.
Never that. I think that was a great learning lesson for me because I realized that I needed to be more mature in the sport.
Right.
When I was going against guys at the local amateur level, I was killing them. And then I won my first 2 pro shows, and I thought, oh wow, like this is going really easy. And then I did that show, which is the second largest show in the world, and got 5th. And I had to remind myself, Phil, these guys have been going after this for decades. You've only done this for a few years. Give it some time. The measurement of a man is when he gets knocked down, not when he's on top. So let's just see what you're made of. And I placed 5th again in the 2009 Mr. Olympia.
And you're like, fuck, my measurement sucks.
Do you have a girl?
Oh yeah.
Because I feel like I would be very threatened by you if you were to approach me like at like a bar or a party or something. I mean, I would be like, oh God, he's coming to get me. I don't know.
Can I buy you a drink or slap you off that stool?
It would depend, right? I mean, if I think. My mom always tells me this. She goes, what gets you by is those light eyes and a nice smile. Yeah. And because you are intimidating when you look at someone kind of crazy in the magazines, right? So, I don't know how I would, but my girl, she she's happy with it, I guess.
The eyes are amazing, BT Dubs. They're beautiful.
She likes it.
Like, great eyes match with like fucking 36-inch arms.
Right?
At least you'd feel protected.
That's for damn sure.
Jesus Christ.
Sure.
You'd be like, honey, he touched my ass. Like, go beat him up.
Or I wouldn't, because I'd be afraid that you kill everybody in your path.
Yeah, have you gotten into fights? Do you have to specifically avoid that?
I used to bounce clubs, back when I was an amateur bodybuilder, and I'm so glad that I don't have to do that anymore.
Yeah.
It's very, very stressful because all you're trying to do is ensure everyone's safety and make sure they have a good time. And you always get that dumbass that wants to pick on the big guy because he knows he's going to get hit. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, if I were to pummel some guy, I would be in trouble. And I'd be the jackass. So
of course you would. Like, you're going to show up in court looking like an idiot in a suit that's like not supposed to. Like, you're not supposed to have that much fabric to make a suit, and the judge is going to look at you and well, Your Honor, he started it. You see.
Yeah.
It's not going to work for you.
It's just not going to work, and especially now that I actually represent the sport of bodybuilding and health and wellness, and
plus you win things. People know you have money.
Yeah,
like that's got to be people. There's got to be people that are just out there wanting you to hit them so they can sue you and try to get some of that Mr. Olympia cash.
That's how you think.
Well, what's great about this is
that is how I think. I was thinking about like what can I do to like what could I say to make him hit me, but just hard enough to like fracture a jaw, not break it.
Right.
You know what I'd do?
What?
I'd just slap you.
You would?
Because
like a bitch slap.
Right, open hands. Just like, you know why? Because imagine going to court and the police report says he slapped you.
Yeah.
And they have to read it.
And the judge goes like a bitch, and I'm that's how he did it.
And he's like, pay the $500 fine, Mr. Heath. Get out of here. Get out of my court.
You know all the tricks, and it leaves less of a mark.
Yeah.
It just leaves like a red handprint, no bruise, no black eye, no broken bones.
Trust me, I've had practice with those. The pimp hand and the goon hand were very strong at one point in time.
Yeah. So how long have you been dating this girl that you're with? Or are you married?
Not married anymore. So yeah. So got a girl, and we're going strong.
Oh, but you were married before?
Yes.
That's got to be different. I would imagine there are serious groupies in the bodybuilding world. Like, musicians have groupies. Pro wrestlers have ring rats.
Duh.
That's what they're called. You have, I'm assuming there are a lot of bodybuilding groupies.
Of course. I mean, sex sells in the industry, right? I mean, you got people that are, very, very good looking, and then they also have very, very good physiques. So,
What are the girls like that like bodybuilding?
Well, I mean, there's some that don't look so hot, and there's some that are okay. In women's bodybuilding, they have women's bodybuilding, they have women's bikini, they have women's figure and fitness. So there's all different types of physiques on that women's side. To each his own, right? I mean, for me, would I like more of a bikini model? Yeah, because I kind of like that in a figure model, kind of, because they're a little bit more athletic, but not too hard.
Right.
But you're not looking for like a thick video vixen.
Those chicks that literally look like a dude.
With a big giant China.
They're in sick shape.
Like Varicosa from like In Living Color back in the day.
Right.
Yes.
Right. One of Jim Carrey's finest performances.
Of course. So for me, it's I've always liked a curvy woman, and my girl has that, so that's good.
Yeah. Was it tough it must have been very difficult to be married and be kind of at the top of this bodybuilding game. When you're a top performer at anything you do,
I think
there's going to be women. Trust me. I know. There's going to be women throwing themselves at you.
Yeah, I think essentially you have to realize that at the top of any game, whether you're in athletics, you're celebrity, or you're in corporate America being businessman. I mean, people love success, and women do attach themselves to a successful person. Why wouldn't they?
Right.
They don't want to be with a bum. They want to be with someone on top. So,
right.
In order to, even currently be Mr. Olympia, my goal is to, represent the sport as best as I can, provide a lot of good awareness and on the relationship side, just to make sure that she's, taken care of, and she knows that she has my best interest in hand, and I have her best interest. I make sure that her best interest is in hand, with me, and that she could trust me and have fun with this. This sport for me is important because I want people to feel great. I want them to look good. I want that wellness factor, not just for bodybuilders, but for anyone, especially coming from a basketball background. I understand like everybody is not going to want to look like me.
They want to be healthy.
They want to be healthy though. And, there's a lot of problems out there, and we can't even go, buy certain foods. I just realized the other day, and I was going to even ask you guys this. Have you guys noticed that, like, with like a carton of milk that can last like almost a month now?
Yeah, I was noticing
that.
Isn't that
I saw
weird?
it in my fridge. I was like, I don't want this milk anymore. And she's like, no. My wife was like, no, this is the organic milk. And I was like, how come the supermarket milk lasts like a week, but the organic milk lasts a month?
That doesn't make sense to me.
Me neither.
Because remember when we were kids, when things were good,
right?
it lasted 4 or 5 days.
Yeah.
And it would start smelling funny. And your mom would yell at you. She'd be like, you better eat that cereal with that milk. Because it's going to go bad. And now it's not the case. So, that's another reason why, I'm in this health and fitness world. I have my own nutrition company, Gifted Nutrition, and we try to promote that lifestyle and remind people that what it used to be when it was good, and like not all new fads are good.
Yeah.
And being Mr. Olympia, you have a bigger likeness, so it's important to kind of spread that news.
Are you gluten free?
Yeah, I was gonna say, what do you?
You are gluten free?
Yes.
No way.
All of our products are gluten free. Yeah.
But you live a gluten free lifestyle.
I live a gluten free lifestyle probably 80% of the time.
You don't eat a big old bowl of pasta ever? You're making my heart
Is that
hurt.
glutens? I thought that was carbs.
You can do,
most pasta's not gluten free.
Well, you can do rice pasta. That's gluten free.
All right, there's that.
That's how
that
you
sounds
find
awful.
We know.
It does, right?
It sounds terrible.
It does, right?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I mean, I'm actually training for a different purpose and I'm eating for a different purpose. So, I understand that back in the day too, like we didn't have these gluten problems. So,
why all of a sudden do I have to worry about a gluten or a fucking carb?
Now. I don't understand. But
allergic to peanut butter.
Right.
It's really strange.
The chicken is making girls have their periods at 11.
It's wild.
Excuse me, I didn't hear that one yet.
Yeah, chicken.
Chicken is
the hormones in the chicken is making young girls have their periods at 11, and that's why these Duggar kids are getting so excited.
That's what's going on.
I was listening to you talking about that. I'm like, that whole story, I'm gonna have to research because that's a really.
Do you keep up at all on what's going on in the news and stuff, or is your world just figuring out when I'm supposed to eat, what I'm supposed to eat, when I'm supposed to work out, what I'm supposed to lift?
It's about that, but that's easy. What's hard is the travel that I do. I roughly travel about 270 miles a year, 270,000 miles a year.
Got a lot of frequent flyer miles.
Tons, way too many.
I was about to say, unless you drive, in which case that's a mistake.
That's a very big mistake.
Yes.
So I have a lot of time to myself, but that time is usually devoted to my nutrition company, learning new different waves of the future in regards to health and wellness. But as far as current events, I mean, there's certain stuff that, I just saw that in I don't know if it was Us Weekly or one of those
celebrities. They're just like us.
Stars.
Stars, something like that. So I was able to see that Duggar family, and I was like, this doesn't make much sense. I was like, I don't want to occupy my time with this madness. So,
and then you start realizing the deeper you go into the story, the farther you fall down the wormhole.
Oh, for sure.
And you're like, no, I'm going to go back to just lifting up heavy things and eating things that are good for me in massive quantities.
I just surround myself by a lot of positive things and realize that I leave the gossip for the gossip team. There's only so much I can get into because I'm not going to learn anything from it.
Yeah. There's literally nothing to take away from it except, I can criticize those people.
Well, that's the other part. Like with bodybuilding, a lot of guys, one of the things I like to promote is feeling proud about yourself. The body image issues and the body dysmorphia that we have in the society is very, very big, especially with social media now. I mean, we get people that, especially girls now, that feel like they have to use a social media app within the app to create different body parts, like make their butts bigger, their waist smaller, their face look a certain way. And
there's one of the top selling female apps.
Yeah,
I know this because I know people in the tech industry.
Okay,
it's like Glam 24/7 or 360 or something like that, and the whole app is literally just like an instant airbrush thing where it just smooths out your face.
Is it free?
I
need it.
We were talking about body dysmorphia
now,
and you're like, how much does it cost?
You don't need it.
$1.99. Let's do it. Sign me up.
Your man is. Come on.
I don't know. It's like no matter what picture you take, there's always some troll saying something
that's true.
About
that's
you.
The thing about the internet,
you
Nicole.
Can't worry about it, Nicole.
I know, but I
Nicole,
can't.
how bad is it?
It's bad.
You think when Phil Heath?
She thinks it's bad.
Yeah.
You think when Phil Heath goes online? Because I posted.
They love me.
Yeah.
No, maybe they don't all love you.
Phil Heath, he's in here with us, Mr. Olympia. He's got to post pictures of himself in a little string Speedo deal. Okay? I've seen his butt cheeks, quite frankly.
Are you into it?
The edges of his. It's not for me.
Right.
But it's not ugly.
Right. Okay.
It's not ugly.
Are you jealous at all?
I mean, there's very little body fat. Okay. I'll say that.
Okay.
He's obviously put a lot of work into it.
Yeah.
He's obviously
done his due
put a lot of
diligence,
work
right?
into
Now
it.
I know he's a tech nerd. You know what I mean?
That's right.
I'm an IT major, so trust me, I understand.
You understand?
Of course.
I understand that I was sitting there looking at your photos going, man, I got to get myself into shape as I was eating Domino's for dinner last night.
Well, it happens.
Yeah, we all make choices, don't we?
That happens.
Cheese is good for you because there's dairy, and that's a food group.
You cannot worry about... And I have to take my own advice, too. It's like... social media, I mean, man, it's a devil and a curse, you know, and it's a devil, and it's a curse, and there's a little bit of good that comes out of it online, but there's more greatness that comes out when you least expect it, meaning like the people that listen to your show, people that watch you, they're going to see you walking around and they're like, oh, that's Nicole, you know, this, that. Right. They may not ever come up to you, but maybe you're inspiration to somebody, you just don't know. And I have to remind myself that a lot because people are going to talk trash about me no matter what.
Right.
But I always tell myself, the same people that said that you can never, you know, play basketball, you got a scholarship, and they got nothing.
Right.
The same people that said, oh, you're going to be a bodybuilder? Oh, yeah, good luck with that, you know. I won my first Mr. Olympia when they said I couldn't even, you know, compete. Now I'm going for my fifth.
Right.
Those same people are saying all this mess, and guess where they're at? The same place.
Nowhere's Phil.
They have done nothing. So
these are the people that were like
substantial.
Yeah.
Phil, you're never going to get out of 5th place 2 in a row, buddy. You're like, guess what? I'm going to be Mr. Olympia. And if you want to follow Phil on Twitter and Instagram and all that, it's at Phil Heath.
Sam had to stop me a while ago. I used to be really good. You could laugh at it sometimes. You read the things that people say and you're like, you're sitting in your mother's basement, thinking up things, sitting behind a computer and just saying nasty things. And so I got used to engage in it. I used to be like,
literally every response.
You!
Because
did you go that far?
Yeah, right back.
Oh, no.
Phil, you'll probably find out today.
Meltdown.
Yeah, it would totally melt down, weekly.
They loved it then. They're like,
I know.
oh, man, I got her.
I attract the scum of the earth. A lot of people don't realize that. But so a lot of people who come on the show, people like Nicole, and especially women who come on the show, who kind of have these backgrounds in something that's a little more friendly. Like Nicole in the mornings is on the Morning Mashup Show, which is the top 40 show where everything's like
rainbows and butterflies.
Everything's great.
Oh, maybe we shouldn't talk about the Duggars today because that's a little off-brand. But they come on this show and they act like real people, and then you end up getting these responses. So I have to tell them, do not engage. Do not engage. Nicole will text me being like, this person said this person said that.
Be a comedian.
I know.
Practice your comedy on them then. I mean,
I just tell her, look,
do it.
They probably don't get laid all that much. Let them have their fun.
This is definitely true. And, you know, you have to think, the guys that are going to talk trash about me, they're going to say, oh, well, this guy's better than you. It's like, what's the scoreboard say?
Right.
Oh, Phil, you suck. Okay. And I had to even keep in mind that even when I played basketball in college, it was their job to throw, you know, slander to you. There's their job to flip you off and stuff while you're trying to shoot a free throw, right? And you make it and you look at them like, yeah, whatever. And they get a kick out of it. And now it sucks because you don't know if they're being funny or they're trying to get a rise out of you or they're really trying to be malicious.
Right.
That's the worst when you respond to somebody and they're like, haha, got me, just kidding, love you, man.
Yeah.
Go fuck yourself. Anyway.
You're like, oh, this asshole.
Yeah. They don't expect you to respond to them. When they get a response, they're like, oh shit, sorry, didn't mean it.
Well, you always have to fight people with the truth. Yeah. And as long as you can keep your composure, you're going to win a lot of fans, on social just because of the way that you address people. And especially being a bodybuilder, they're going to already attribute your stature and say, oh, this guy is dumb as a box of rocks and this and that. And I can say, well, no, actually, I got, a couple degrees from a prestigious university. I've, owned 2 businesses and I've been on, things like Bloomberg and stuff like that.
Douchebag. Got to end it with that.
Yeah.
Well, you're also humble. Your nickname is The Gift.
Yeah, right? Well, here's what's crazy about that, right?
Right.
So my old roommate gave me that nickname. I got pissed off.
You swear you didn't give it to yourself?
No.
Promise?
I swear.
All right.
I swear.
Because my nickname is Primetime Sam Roberts.
Primetime.
That's right. You know who invented that nickname? Yours truly.
So my roommate gave me that nickname, and he was just like, look, I think you have a gift, man. He's like, you came from basketball to bodybuilding very, very fast. You're very energetic. You engage with people. You defeat a lot of negative stereotypes. And I think you're going to be awesome. And then next thing you know, I'm 5-time Mr. Oh, well, I was soon to be 5-time Mr. Olympia. And, positive thinking, right? But, I feel like I do have a gift. I think everyone in this room has a gift, and everyone that listening has a gift.
Paul doesn't. He spells everybody's name wrong on the phone screen, but everybody else.
That's not Paul's gift, then.
Everybody else has a gift except for Paul.
He has a gift. It's just not that.
Right. So I've seen his gift. That's how he got his job.
So essentially, everybody has one. They just got to find it. Find their niche, learn about it, be educated about it, be passionate, and then when called upon, give back, so then other people can learn from your perspective, and then they can be gifted too.
You're motivational as well.
That's that. Right. Yeah. We were going to open up the phone lines. 866-969-1969. 866-969-1969. Phil Heath is here with Nicole on Sam Roberts Show. We'll go to Connolly. Connolly, what's going on? You there, Connolly?
Speak up.
Connolly
fell asleep. Listen, I need to ask you dietarily.
Yeah, because he's not very good dietarily. He eats very few things.
Word?
Yeah, he made it up.
That's right. No. It is. Trust me.
Pull out Scrabble right now.
Listen, Phil, you're not the only one with a degree, okay? I've got one too. It's in
what?
Well, it's not in broadcasting.
Broadcasting, that's okay.
No, it's in sociology.
That's okay.
Yeah, it's not.
That's good.
It is, right?
No, that's really good.
That's right. I know the difference between every race, everything. I know it. And that's why people can never accuse me of racism. Read my degree.
Sociology.
It's in sociology. I talked to Stone Cold Steve Austin about this last week, and he was proud of me because I think he felt like I was living the dream. There's a lot of fast food, lots of chicken and pizza.
Mm-hmm.
No meat, no cooked vegetables.
Just call it what it is. All he eats is chicken and pizza.
That's all you eat,
and
he doesn't like
fast food.
And like fast food. I say a lot of fast food because it's a lot compared to. I feel like people are making fast food like the new cigarettes, like it's an evil thing, which is not right. But
it's pretty crazy though that you can get some. I don't want to say McDonald's, throw them on a bus, but I mean, come on, like you can any fast food that triggers a response like it does, like you have to have those fries or you have to have that burger. There's something going on in that.
Dude,
thing,
there is. Listen,
there's got to be something in there.
I'm going to tell you,
emotion a lot, and that's.
I don't drink. I don't do any drugs or weed or anything, which I don't know. That'll probably make me very unpopular in Colorado.
Perhaps.
Do you indulge since you're in Colorado and it's legal?
No.
You can't.
You know what's crazy is that being Mr. Olympia, I mean, all eyes are on you. Like even if I were to post a shot glass or something like that, and I know there's a lot of kids watching.
Oh, you can't even do that.
Think about it. Like if I walked into a weed shop in Colorado,
right?
You don't think for 1 minute someone's going to tweet that the minute I walk in there?
100%.
Maybe you could go incognito, wear a hoodie or something.
Honestly, just like me with more fabric,
right?
You know, making me even more bigger.
No, I don't know who that is. I'm layered up. It's cold.
Yeah, it's 90 degrees outside. You must be on some drugs. You know what I mean? So no, it doesn't. For me, honestly, I understand both sides of it. To each his own. Whatever. You know, Colorado's made a ton of money off of it, and I understand it's a big business for them. But for me, I smoke cigars. I drink Macallan 18. I like stuff like that.
The good stuff.
If I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, you're the gift.
You are.
You know? Can't be fucking with store brand bullshit.
Yeah, like Skull vodka and shit like that. I left that alone in college. You know what I mean?
We actually,
that's the $7.97 handle of freaking madness.
Like the pop-off or like that, like when it comes to like a plastic bottle.
Yeah, Boone's Farm, crap like that, yeah.
We have a pretty important diet question coming in. This is a regular caller on the channel. Lady Di from New Jersey has a question about dieting. Di.
Hey, how you doing today?
I'm fabulous. Lady Di has been on a liquid diet as of late.
Okay.
I did have an energy drink before.
Wow, good for you, Lady Di.
But what is your drink of choice usually?
Natty Ice.
Natty Ice? Oh my God, that is the cheapest, nastiest. Ugh.
Yeah, that's generally that's generally her main food group right now.
Natty Ice,
yes.
Man, I haven't heard that.
No. I actually had a Nutriment before.
That's straight
Nutriment. All right, so listen, Lady Di, what's your question?
What's my what?
Question. The reason people call radio shows. What's your question?
What's the question of the day? Who do you have in the studio right now?
Okay, goodbye, Lady Di.
You
are a fucking moron.
Oh.
Yes, goodbye.
Come on, Lady Di.
I mean, that was maybe the dumbest phone call I've ever taken. Let's go to...
a few Natty Ices.
Luckily, no pressure on Trey in Ohio. What's up, Trey?
How's it going, guys?
Good, pal.
I had a question for Phil. I watched a documentary. He seems like a pretty confident dude all the time.
Well, he's got arms that are the size of trees.
They're amazing.
No, it's ridiculous. I was wondering if there's been a time in any competition that he's won and been like, oh, shit, maybe I shouldn't have won, you know, this guy's looks a bit better than me or anything like that.
Yeah, are you self-aware enough to, like, know in a competition when you see a guy, that guy looks better than me?
I remember doing my first pro show against Durham Charles, and I wasn't sure that I was going to win that one. You know, there's times where you have insecurity backstage. I remember in 2013 when before I won my third Mr. Olympia, you know, I was really nervous.
Before I won my third Mr. Olympia.
Oh, come on. So I'm backstage, getting ready, and I'm looking at all the guys, and I'm thinking, wow, these guys really brought it. Each guy really brought it. And you don't know what you look like compared to them because you can't see yourself, right, bro? So
right.
You kind of just look in the mirror backstage, and you're like, all right, this guy looks freaking phenomenal. I don't know what this is going to be. So I think every contest I've done, you don't really know for sure until maybe right before they call your name. I think there's been only one show in my career where I was like, I won hands down, but
when you don't know for sure, do you still just stay confident?
Well, yeah, because you've done the work. I mean, you look great. It's just that for me, I have respect for all these other guys,
Yeah.
And I know, bro, in the movie, like it looks a certain way, but at the same time, you got to keep in mind that, when you're the best in the world at something, you have to be confident more than the average guy. And it's not even cocky because you back it up. But for me, I get portrayed a lot like, oh, this guy's a cocky asshole. He's an arrogant dude, but at the same time.
I know what you mean.
I don't go to a job interview not dressed to impress and actually with the confidence to get the job. You don't go to a bar, with your nice clothes on to go talk to the ugliest girl in there. You want to talk to the hottest girl in there.
Right.
You want the best for yourself because you prepared that way. So to answer your question, yeah, there's been times all the time, where you have that anxiety. But as you can see, I'm usually pretty excited, each contest, man.
All right.
All right, Trey. Thanks a lot, pal.
Yeah.
So you generally walk in. Who shaves you down?
Myself.
You do it by yourself? What about
I'm not very hairy. Like, look how hairy. This is how hairy I am.
He's really soft.
How does he feel?
He feels very soft, like a baby's tush.
But it's like, what about, like, do you feel like the muscles?
I can feel the muscles, but I was going for the skin.
Oh.
And is that from shaving so much that it doesn't?
No,
just, like,
I've always been like this.
Well, you're lucky.
I got lucky.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
But even like nothing on the ass area, nothing, because you can't have that.
Showing your. Oh, you guys were showing.
You kind of are. You need to shave everything
I mean,
down.
yeah, you got to shave everything. But like I said, the good thing is that I don't have to, go crazy like some guys, man.
They're like sweaters.
Silverback gorillas and shit. Like,
what about all the liquid tan?
Oh, the spray tan stuff?
Yeah, you apply that yourself?
No, I actually go through a company that does that for me. Yeah.
Really? Yeah. There are companies that they're just like, we're here to spray bodybuilders.
Not just bodybuilders. I mean, there's companies that spray actors, actresses, because they have to have a certain skin tone under those lights.
The
keep in mind,
seedy underbelly of Hollywood.
Well, consider the fact that when you're tan, you can actually show more definition. So when you're under those high definition lamps, in addition to the camcorders, you want to look your best.
I have a confession.
Tell me.
I am dark to begin with. You know that I'm dark naturally, but it was like in the winter and I was super pale, and right before I went in to have the baby, I went and got a spray tan because I thought I was going to look so terrible after I pushed her out and everybody was going to be coming in and I wanted to look cute in the pictures. So I had someone give me a spray tan.
Oh, no. You didn't think that, like, you're going to be a sweaty mess with your spray tan just dripping everywhere?
No, it was a pretty good spray. That didn't happen. I looked okay in the pictures. I was happy with the results.
How many days before?
Like, I went like 2 days, so it kind of like...
She had a system.
Yeah. See, this is the person who gets worried about what her Instagram commenters say. The person who goes for a spray tan before she gives birth.
I need to find her Instagram. Yeah, we're going to go on your Instagram and we're going to mess with her. And then we're going to mess with everybody that messes with her.
There you go.
Yeah.
I love that. Look, I'm being protected already. We just met.
You are. And again, it's Phil Heath on Instagram and Twitter and all that stuff. Let's go to... What's his name? Chris? Let's go to Chris. What's up, pal?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Not too much.
So I have a quick question for you. Would you ever consider joining the world of professional wrestling?
That's a really good question.
Well, I've thought about it a lot.
No, not you.
You can be like the manager or something.
Can I be your manager?
Nah.
Okay. Well, there goes that idea.
I don't know. Actually, I did a quick stint with TNA. Sorry. On Bound for Glory on pay-per-view a couple years ago.
Oh, yeah, you did it with Robbie E. He's done the show before.
Yeah, with the Bromans. Yeah, those are my guys. So we did that. That was awesome. I'd love to be able to get in the storyline a little bit further with those guys. I've talked to some guys in WWE. I wouldn't be opposed to doing an appearance, but as far as doing real stunts and stuff like that, my craft is bodybuilding. I have to keep that in mind. And my body right now is not made for wrestling at the moment, but I could get into the storyline a little bit more, I would say. I wouldn't mind getting hit. I could get punched in the face or slapped around, and as long as I get to hit them back, and I wouldn't mind hitting them with a chair or something like that. I mean, I could get hit in the chair in the back or something.
Can you cut a promo?
I probably could do something like that,
You can't. I bet you can't cut a promo on me right now.
Oh, God.
A promo on you right now.
Let me tell you something, Gift. People have been walking around here calling you the gift. Well, it's not Christmas because I'm taking you right to the return desk at Target. You understand me, gift? You're a gift for nobody because that's exactly where you came from. Just another chain store gift that I'm taking back. And when we get in the ring, I'm going to explain to you exactly why that is.
Wow.
There it is. See?
That was amazing.
And eventually he'll stop smoking that hopium and decide that he's not messing with that guy. He is messing with Phil Heath, the man that will twist this sucker so hard, bounce his ass up and down this whole studio, outside that door, bring his ass right back in by that little curly ass hair of his.
Shit.
You are fucked now.
And now he is fucked. Because
I didn't mean it, Phil.
Because this hand.
Oh, no.
Bitch slap is coming.
Phil. I didn't mean it.
He's got a hair tie.
Have you ever? Oh no,
He's got a hair tie.
It's so much shorter than it used to be.
I will use this 5-hand Mr. Olympia hand and slap the shit out of you.
I would pay to see that.
Here's the problem. No matter what I say, nobody believed it for a second. Phil, the minute a word came out of his mouth, they were like, "Yep, he'll do that."
He's actually almost underneath the console. Sam actually just almost.
Yeah, I was like, no, we're friends. We're friends. I was just giving you an example. Okay, so you could pull it off. Yeah.
All right.
Let's go to John. What's up, John? Welcome to the show.
Hey guys, great to get to talk to you, Phil.
Oh, thanks.
I was just wondering, your competition weight. How long can you stay at your competition weight? I know bodybuilders like Dorian, they used to get up over 300 pounds in the off season and talk about how hard it was, to actually, peak right at the show. I was wondering if that's anything you had trouble with.
I actually do it quite opposite. I don't like bulking up like that, just because it's so hard to tie your damn shoes being that heavy. But, with my travel schedule, it's so hard to bulk up like that. So I'd rather stay around the 265, 270 range and then grow into the contest. So I'm at 265 right now. I'll get slowly up to 275, 280 maybe, and then come slowly down around 6 weeks out, down to 250, 255 pounds this year. And what that does is it's kind of like a boxer. He wants to be at his fight weight the whole time. Right. So that way my body is used to being muscular with little amounts of fat. And I'm not ingesting a bunch of garbage throughout the year that could damage my health too. So, my style is a little different. I think it's been working, obviously.
Yeah, four-time Mr. Olympia.
September
soon to be 5th.
Yeah.
Soon to be 5th. We're not just going to say 4. We're putting the secret. We're putting the positivity
I'm not
at
slapping him with 4 fingers.
No.
I'm slapping with the whole hand.
Right. That's the championship hand. Oh, my God. Well, listen. The question on everybody's mind. What do you bench?
No, that was a question on your mind.
That's a question on everybody's mind.
That was a mom joke just came to mind. How big is your mom? No.
She's a husky woman.
Oh no. She is. So I can rep her out a few times. No, but seriously, like I get asked that question and I have to remind them that for my body, I'm not doing max reps, so I'm not doing what rep maxes. I'm usually doing a lot of dumbbell work. So I've lifted 180-pound dumbbells with each hand, and that usually would equate to over a 400-pound barbell bench press. So I can do that.
All right. Well, listen, we got to get you out of here. We got to move on to the next thing for you. I'm sure you got a meal or something heavy to lift.
What are you going to eat for lunch?
Guys like him.
There you go.
Oh, my God. You're still cutting promos. You're a natural. Phil Heath, you're awesome, man.
No, thanks for having me on, guys. I really appreciate it. It's really a pleasure to have some fun on the air.
Yeah.
You guys kept it, exciting. And I just want to say real quick, to all you guys listening, make sure you continually go get health checks, blood work, full physicals done. Know what you're up against, because I know a lot of people are getting ready for the summer months. They want to get trim. They want to get healthy. Read those labels and make sure that whoever is trying to tell you what to take is actually someone of worthy knowledge and do backgrounds on them as well, because we've got a lot of imposters out there that are trying to give out free advice. So you get what you pay for sometimes when you're looking at these foods, in the supermarket or online. Just do your due diligence and do food diaries for yourself, so then you make the right decision and have fun. Don't just be so narcissistic. Make sure that, hey, if you want to go have a pizza, have a slice of pizza, maybe not have the whole thing.
Everything in moderation.
And you can do it in moderation during the summer months. I mean, I know everybody's doing the barbecues and stuff like that, having the beers and have that, but have it in moderation. Do your best with that. Train hard, train smart. Of course, have fun, and be sure to watch me win the Mr. Olympia this September.
There it is.
And I'll hopefully come back and slap this piece of...
You're telling me the cheesy bread appetizer was not necessary before the Domino's? Maybe not. I'm not a good moderation guy. You can follow Phil Heath on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and everything else at Phil Heath. And, of course, Gifted Nutrition is the company, giftednutrition.com. Thanks for hanging out, man.
Thank you.
And we'll be back. Andy Buckley from The Office and now Jurassic Park. The new Jurassic Park, Jurassic World.
Jurassic World.
Yeah.
That looks sick.
It looks fucking awesome. He's on his way in here, so stay tuned. Sam Roberts Show will be back in a second.
Trying to tan my cheeks. This is how I roll.
Sorry, just getting one extra pump on. Just getting my pump in here. Welcome back to the Sam Roberts Show. Phil Heath was great. Which one are you going to be on? That one? You good?
Can you hear me now? There you go.
Can I? You got to tuck into the side.
I'm trying.
No, not that one. You got to pick one of those two. What are you doing over there?
I'm sorry. Phil Heath is so big. He jostled all of these friggin' mics around.
Mr.
No idea
Olympia.
which one was mine. All right, there we go. I feel better.
And he actually can form a sentence. I was pleasantly surprised. I was wondering when he came in.
Thinking he was going to be like,
just a fucking dud. But he was not. And
great.
And he was fun off the air and everything. You could actually have a conversation. Welcome back to Sam Roberts Show. Again, that was Phil Heath. If you want to follow him on Twitter, you can at Phil Heath. If you want to call the show, it's 866-969-1969. 866-969-1969. I think Andy Buckley is literally on his way up the stairs right now. Look at this, Nicole. This is what I've been watching. I'm going to point the monitor a little bit in your direction. This thing is everywhere. We're going to tweet, Paul, I'm talking to you, a link to this on our Twitter account. This is a graduation. It's visual. But just watch. This is the greatest graduation. It's on Vine. It's from University of Miami. Big time stunner.
Seriously, Sam?
These two dudes.
I was so hoping that this Vine would be not that.
It made me want to go back to college. This guy, he's on stage. He's graduating from college, accepting his diploma. He holds up a fake championship belt from wrestling, and another guy just comes over to him, kicks him in the ribs, and drops him with a Stone Cold Stunner. The best part about this video, which you can find at twitter.com/SRShowSXM, is look at the administrator here, Nicole. The guy in the black. Watch as the administrator tries to stop. He's like, oh, wait, no. And he can't stop it. The stunner goes down with perfection.
Did he not know it was like a wrestling joke?
I don't know. I think he was afraid that they were going to start a fight. They were actually like, oh, no, he's attacking the graduate. And look at him. He gets stunned right out of his graduation hat. But he takes it well. The two students are now in trouble.
Are they really?
The school is refusing to give these two their diplomas until it meets with their parents. This is a college graduation. What do you want to talk to their parents about? They're 21 years old. You have allowed these two, 8.2 million hits on Vine. You've allowed these two, and again, you can see the video at twitter.com/SRShowSXM. University of Miami has allowed these two to graduate. That is this educational facility declaring them as adults.
Right.
Like once that happens, once you get the diploma, this place is like, we've brought you into adulthood.
Yeah.
You're here.
Right.
Welcome. You can't talk. What are you going to talk to their parents about?
I don't know. I think it's just like something that they're like people who are high up in schools are used to saying, I'm going to call your parents. It's just the easiest thing to say.
You don't think their parents have seen this? You know how quick my parents saw the iPhone video? And this is bigger than the iPhone video. That got 5.8 million views. This has 8.2 million views.
I'm sure the parents are probably like, we don't give a crap. Actually, we're proud.
Yeah, it's funny that you just got dropped with a Stone Cold Stunner. Well, speaking of stunners, Andy Buckley's outside.
You don't get much more stunning than this.
Come on in.
Welcome to the show. We were just watching.
Michelle coming in?
Of course, Michelle can come in. Michelle told me.
Hi, Michelle. I love you.
Michelle told me, she was like, do you know who Andy Buckley is? You know, from The Office and everything. I was like, of course I know who Andy Buckley is.
The entire world.
Yeah, the world. You mean world? You mean television's Andy Buckley? Yeah. The world knows who Andy Buckley is.
Super sidekick.
She said, you got to have him on the show. I said, yeah, okay. And she goes, because he's wonderful. And I said,
Michelle.
I was like, okay, so what I'm saying is no pressure, but Andy Buckley, if you don't come out here swinging,
bring it.
Not only am I going to kick you out of this studio, but it's the last time Michelle is going to see this gorgeous face.
Well,
my face I'm talking about.
Andy,
No, not Andy.
Nicole. Hi, Nicole.
Andy Buckley, of course, you know him from The Office. He spent a lot of time as kind of like an everyman actor. The Office was kind of the big breakout. Now he's going to be in this new Jurassic World movie, and on Odd Mom Out.
Odd Mom Out.
It's amazing.
On Bravo.
Yeah.
Premieres, do I have to sit close? How does this work?
You're good.
I'm usually used to the bigger budget production, Sam.
Yeah, well, we had Mr. Olympia in here a minute ago, and the listeners were taking, because they've seen photos of the studio we're stuck in, for a month. This is not the home of Sam Roberts show.
Our guest house.
Yeah, it's a deceivingly important show.
You keep telling yourself that, Sammy.
Yeah,
you're going to be bigger than Len Letterman.
Right, we had Mr. Olympia in here, and the listeners were taking bets on whether or not he would fit in the studio because he's this giant bodybuilder.
I mean, Mr. Olympia's got to be literally all five of us combined. Right?
Yeah,
I mean, he literally has to be.
What do you mean? Your arms are comparable.
In a puny sort of a way. They're
to his thumb.
Yeah, exactly. My arms are like his penis.
Yes.
No, I don't know.
Hey,
come on, Nicole. Come on. I've been told I can say anything on this show.
That's right. And boy, are we testing those limits.
There we go.
I love, I was reading your kind of story of how everything happened. You started as an actor.
It had extremely little success.
Well, you were on Silk Stockings.
I was unbelievable. I literally won the worst actor of the history of any Silk Stockings. Which,
and I mean, there were no good actors.
That's pretty good. That's impressive.
I always knew about Silk Stockings because I spent my childhood watching pro wrestling, as people know. And on USA, every Monday night, I'd be watching Monday Night Raw. And it would say, coming up next, Silk Stockings. And I'd watch commercial after commercial going, who the fuck watches Silk Stockings to interrupt my wrestling show?
Every teenage boy.
Yeah.
You always had like the girl in the skimpy little outfit or, oh, yes. It was spectacular.
It was. But all good things must come to an end. And that show came to an end. But you left acting.
I left acting. Yeah, it was going too well. I was getting too many parts.
You quit while you're ahead. With the Ripken record.
Sean Penn said he was going to stop. Daniel Day-Lewis said he was going to stop. So I said, well, I guess I got to stop too if my equals are stopping. And I packed it in and started working as a stockbroker, advisor at Merrill Lynch.
Is that a depressing moment in your life where because a lot of people will go, this is my backup plan, but you never actually want to follow through with your backup plan?
I was just so freaking happy to get hired. I was trying to get a job in all kinds of places, and they were the only place that would actually hire me.
So acting had dried up so much that you were like, no. I mean, just a job doing something, not
anything.
Not in Hollywood, not in. It doesn't matter what state.
I will deliver flowers. I'll make pizzas.
Were you a good broker?
It was funny. Luckily, the first couple of years, because literally, you go, you study, you get your number, you're as they say, you're legal to do it and the whole bit. But 4 months later, I was trying to get acting parts. I didn't know a freaking thing. So
this wasn't a backup plan. This was like acting's not working out. I got to go get a stock license.
I just started talking to people, and a buddy of mine who was still there at Merrill Lynch, he said, you know what, come on in, you should meet the guys. You should interview here. Maybe they'll like you. Maybe they'll hire you. And I'm reasonably smart. I'm not that smart. I'm reasonably smart. And it's about what I was doing is more about talking. Like you deal with people. It's not you have to be some math genius.
Right.
And
if you were Matthew McConaughey, just pound.
God, was that a great scene?
Oh my God, it's better than that scene.
Right,
that was just heaven.
Doing lines of blow at lunch and convincing people to give you all their money.
Awesome.
It's a great life.
Well, yes, but it's slightly different.
Okay.
I
haven't taken the test. I just saw the movie.
Much more conservative and boring. Much like me. But so I was doing that. I'm waking up, I'm wearing a suit every day. I'm getting clients. But it's the first couple of years, luckily I partnered up with a couple of guys, so I didn't really have to offer any advice because I really didn't know what the hell I was talking about. And
what advice would you give? I wouldn't listen to me.
Talk to Dave next to me. He offers the advice. I get the coffee. But no, God, like 5 years into that, when I was actually starting to develop a sense of it and a business and the whole bit, Allison Jones, who cast The Office, the great Allison Jones, she we had bumped into her at a farmer's market, and our local farmer's market. We live in the same area. She's like, "What are you doing, Buckley? What's going on? I haven't seen you." And I'm like, "I'm stockbroker. We had our first son, blah, blah, blah." She's like, "Well, give me your card just in case something comes up, blah, blah, blah." And then, so I give her my Merrill Lynch card, and then she calls me. That was October of 2005, and then she calls me at the end of January of 2006. So for like 4 months later, not the next week. She's like, I think you might be the right guy for this part. You should come. It's, a couple of scenes a day. You work with Steve, and so I go and audition like every other, the other guys in there, and it was really funny. My wife is an acting coach and is actually pretty great at it, and has a lot of big clients now, and guys doing well and women doing well, and So I worked with her, and I was just having fun with the actual audition and the scenes, and I'm sitting in the waiting room.
So when you walk into the audition, is it one of those things where you can just have fun because you don't care and you don't think you're going to get the part?
That's exactly it. As opposed to when I was trying to do it before, I'm like, fuck, I need to fucking.
Did you see Silk Stockings? I'm brilliant.
I was unbelievable. The emotion. Wow. So it was great. So I go in and I'm just having fun with the actual acting of it, and I got to get back. I got a client. Shit, I'm gonna be there at 3. Blah blah blah, and Dr. Wilson's gonna be pissed, and his municipal bonds we didn't buy them.
And you're like, I'm not like young or cute enough to be like, oh, I'll get back to you. I'll give you advice in a second. I have an audition at lunch.
Nobody wants to hear that. So they hired me. It was great, but that was it. It was one day. It was a couple scenes. It was a ton of fun, and then they literally a year later called. And I did a few more episodes that season. There was a big finale where we ended up hiring the temp. We hire Ryan to work there. I fired Jen. It was a ton of fun. And
because your part was, for those who don't know what we're talking about, it was the guy who was like the boss at corporate,
yeah,
who ended up, getting fired and
ultimately
just
having a meltdown.
Having a meltdown. It was great.
But so then they eventually they start using me a lot, like 3-4 years in, and I get to do some movies. That was a funny thing. I was in here in New York. Doing The Other Guys, this movie, The Other Guys, with Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg
and The Rock. Did you meet The Rock?
I got a great story about The Rock.
Yes,
but it's and I got to have Michael Keaton. I was in a scene with him.
Oh my God!
Oh, it was heaven.
The Birdman.
He was such a great guy. No surprise.
Yeah.
And but I'm here, and it was one of those things where I'm only working. I was here for the better part of a month, but I only worked like once a week. So I went home one week, but then the other weeks I'm like, shit, I'm going to stay in New York. This is fun. So I would go into the Merrill Lynch office at Rockefeller Center on my off days.
You're still working.
And I get an empty office, and I do that. And then the next day I get to be on the set with Wahlberg and Will and like all the movie stars. And
it's ridiculous.
It was good. And I'm back in the office of, Dr. Jones.
And then you can have that kind of, I don't give a fuck confidence about both jobs because you're just doing them both.
Yeah. Hey, I'm a fucking stockbroker. Tell them to pay me more.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So what was your interaction with The Rock?
So The Rock. So I didn't meet him on the set. I went to the set one day and watched him and Sam Jackson do a cool action scene, and it was the beginning of the scene where they jump off the building. Like, you thinking what I'm thinking? It's the funniest thing. I remember reading in the script, like, this is gonna be so funny.
Right. So The Rock's the only guy, by the way, who can pull off being a stereotypical action hero and then also being the guy who makes fun of stereotypical action heroes. He just does them both and keeps getting work.
He's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And this speaks to that point. So so I done a thing where St. Jude's is a charity that I'm near and dear to me and all that, and so we had auctioned off a set visit to the office for St. Jude's, and it was actually in New York when we were doing that movie, and guy, was a hedge fund guy. He paid a fair amount of money for it, and so the only time he can do it, he and his wife and his 2 kids are coming out to California to visit the set of the office, was the very last week of the show, and Steve had already finished for the season and left. So it's like, fuck.
Yeah.
Okay, the rest of the Bulls and Scottie Pippen are great, but if you're not meeting Michael Jordan, you're going to be pissed.
Right.
And so he came, and I would always make a point whenever that would happen of like showing the people around and being the point guy, make sure they get every picture, meet everybody. So I'm like, okay, I got to come up with something else. I got to think of something else. And there was another studio nearby. Like, I knew somebody that would get us on the set, on the stage of the studio. And we get on this. So after we do the whole office thing, and blah, blah, blah. It goes well. Then we go there, and I'm pulling in. Like, yeah, I'm coming in, but they're getting us on the set. And I asked the security guy, hey, what shows are filming? Any movies filming? Blah, blah, blah. And the guy's literally like, yeah, everything's pretty much done. The only thing, The Rock's doing a movie down on such and such. And I said, okay, we're gonna fucking meet The Rock.
Yes.
Believe you me. Because the kids are like 8 and 10,
perfect.
like right in the wheelhouse. And it was one of those things that I couldn't have worked more perfectly. We park, we walk over, we walk on. There's somebody that I know who's like a PA that I know who was from the office that's working. He's like, hey, come on over, man, stand by the monitor.
This is the story of your life. Like, it's always just you run into somebody, they're like, hey, Buckley,
yeah,
let's go meet The Rock. Let's be stockbrokers. Let's go in the office. Like, all right.
I'm coming out of the office as the other serious office just right now, and Steve Forbes literally is
You
walking
mean from Forbes?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Literally is walking out of the bathroom, and I sort of do this double take, and I look at him, and he senses me, and he kind of looks and he smiles, and I'm like, my jaw is hitting the floor. Like, holy shit, this is
money
Steve
in
Forbes.
this bathroom with me.
And he just kind of smiles. He says, hi, Steve Forbes. I said, hey, Andy Buckley, how's it going, baby? You know, he couldn't.
Had you washed your hands?
It was. I was walking in. He was walking out. It was. What wasn't he? He was such such a sweet personality. So we stand by the monitors, and I at the time. This was years ago. I used to do this. I would purposely wear my David Wallace glasses just to be certain that, like, you know, and often I would wear a suit. Like, fuck, that's okay. So I keep saying fuck because I think I'm allowed to say that.
Yeah,
so.
and encourage. It's like you go through, and he didn't say one fuck though. What's the way to say? I thought we were on satellite radio.
Yeah. So we watch this scene, and it's behind a door that we can't see, but we're watching on the monitor. And then The Rock comes out, and I've never met him. I don't know him. And he stops, and he kind of looks, and he looks out over the crowd, and he was up a couple of steps up, and he sees the people at the monitors, and he sees these two kids, and he says, I want to meet those two kids. Who are those two great-looking kids right there? Look at those guys. And he just starts walking towards us. And his assistant, like, kind of walks up. I had sort of waved to his assistant. I don't know if she recognized me or anything like that or whatever it was. But he just comes walking over, talks to her for 10 seconds, keeps walking. And I walk up and say, hey, you know, Dwayne, Andy Buckley. I was in the other guys also working with Adam and blah, blah, blah. And he talks to me like, yeah, wasn't he a great guy? We talk for 2 minutes. And then he spends 10 minutes with these kids. Great. You guys, now I have a daughter about your age. What do you like to do? Do you? She loves to do. I mean, it was unbelievable. And I've told that story 1,000 times. Like, it's.
See, that's why I would not be good in that situation, and that's why I don't have a reputation for being as likable as you do. Because if I was around two kids and The Rock was like, "Oh, let me talk to these kids," every 2 minutes I'd be like, "Yeah, Rock, you know what else about me? I also
when you took down Stone Cold Steve Austin,
what would happen?
I almost
remember when you told Mankind it didn't matter what his name was. Yeah. Remember?
You'd be like, screw these kids.
Yeah, I'd be
I'm
like,
here.
2 minutes for the kids, 10 for the old Samster. What do you think, Rock?
But it was crazy. It was like, okay, this guy's freaking spectacular.
Stories like yours also they just make me want to quit. Like, I just try to get, and it's like, well, maybe if I just quit, people would just call me, and then I'll be able to do things that way, and I won't have to.
But not every story ends like this.
You got to go to Merrill Lynch.
Right.
It's the key to all acting success.
But I would imagine before the Merrill Lynch call, before the office call, before all that stuff, when you were searching for the job, there was misery there, right?
Oh,
and
my
depression
God.
And please tell me.
Not like this kind of misery I'm experiencing right now. Okay. No. Oh my gosh, that was horrible.
Olympia said.
Oh my
Weird.
God, it was like the 90s were horrible.
Just a terrible.
A few ugly cries.
Oh my God, what?
A few ugly cries.
Oh. I have them every day.
The Clinton administration was not your time.
Yeah, it was not my time.
No, but
that depends what your definition of the word is.
Well, that was quick. That was good. If you want to call up and talk to Andy Buckley, 866-969-1969, 866-969-1969. It's a big time for you specifically. Because
I didn't know people can call in.
That's right. We're live. It's Sam Roberts Show. This is, again, it's a deceivingly important show.
Can I call myself?
You could. Yeah.
Andy? Why the fuck did you just say that? Well, I'll tell you.
Tell me about Odd Mom Out, the new show.
Odd Mom Out is the shirt that I'm wearing.
Yes, I see that.
I'm the NASCAR driver of actors.
Let's not forget, we're here for a purpose, Sam.
Promo.
We're not making friends.
Promo.
Bravo TV, their first scripted comedy. It's I think funny as hell. It starts airing June 8th, so this coming Monday night, 9 Central.
Again, you're interfering with my Monday Night Raw. You just
I'll watch because that's all I watch is Bravo.
You can tape it now. So you've seen the ads.
Yes.
I think it's funny as hell. Jill, the woman who created it, Cargman, she's she was just the body, funny, super sharp, as a tack dame who has written a lot of these Momzilla books and just they sort of came up with the show and they created the show. It's like a Sex and the City, but we're married with kids, and then she's got her best buddy who every week is like screwing some new guy. Therein is the Sex and the City aspect of it, and the folks who run the show were big writers on Sex and the City for a while. But it's Abby Elliott's in it. She's funny as shit.
Yeah.
I'm in it. I'm the husband to Jill, and Joanna Cassidy, who's been around for many years and is really funny as hell. I think of her as mostly dramatic things, but she's actually funny as shit. She plays our mom, and KK Glick is the best friend. She's one of the College Humor UCB type gals who hopefully people will see her and say, "Fuck, this girl's really funny." And then Sean Clier plays my younger brother.
There it is.
Who's a funny bastard as well.
You were also in Bridesmaids in the Heat, right?
Because Paul Feig had he was on The Office for a few years, and the two specifically that he was there helping run the show when Greg Daniels had left were.
You know who was, by the way, a guest on this show on Tuesday?
Oh, was Paul?
Paul Feig.
Yeah, isn't he he's such a great guy.
I love
him. And he's obviously funny as heck.
Yeah.
And he certainly couldn't have been nicer to me. He was so it was great to get to know him during those times. So then, he did hey, let's get Buckley for that part in the Heat, and then.
So was it just a coincidence? Because you did work. You did comedy with Melissa McCarthy way back.
Way back when we were coming up in the Groundlings together, and then like in classes and everything, and she was always funny. I was funny a tenth of the time, and Dax Shepard was there, and Nat Faxon and Ben Falcone, her husband, and. A few other folks, but they all continued on with it. I ended up like leaving and doing some other stuff, which was probably a mistake. But maybe,
based on the fact that success is just not coming for you, you're just in Jurassic World.
It was delayed. It was delayed.
Yeah.
It was,
I guess.
But they, so I was there, and then, it was great that I actually went to Merrill Lynch. It gave me a better sort of foundation of, like, going in and not needing, I wasn't Joe Desperate.
And I was going to say, none of the people who you did comedy with, they don't know shit about stocks.
They can't, they're fucking broke. Right. They've made millions.
They don't know what to do with it.
They're shorting Apple. They don't know what's going on. That is a stock market term.
Now, you're one of Merrill Lynch's claims to fame, too.
You know what?
You know who used to work here?
When did you quit?
I'm still there. I'm on my lunch break right now.
I appreciate it.
Dr. Wilson is waiting. No, it's funny. I was actually, I picked up I got a couple of partners around 2009, and so I was doing that. Then I got a show, one of the teen drama shows on ABC Family. I was the dad in 2011 and 10 and 11. And part of 2012, and which we filmed in Austin, Texas. So I was commuting there. And it was during that time that I sort of said, shit, okay, I should just...
Time to quit my hobby job, stockbroking.
Exactly. So that was it, 2011. I guess 2012 was my final year there. But so I got my 10-year, plaque.
Did they give you an actual plaque?
No, I think you get like a little watch.
Okay,
says 10 years.
Cool.
There it is. Nobody else does, but if it's Andy Buckley, they're going to give him something.
They gave me something.
Let's go to some calls again. 866-969.
I can't fucking believe this. There are calls. This is ridiculous.
It's exciting, right? 866. It's radio. 866-969-1969.
We got Buckley's brother on the line.
We got Steven. Is your brother's name Steven?
No.
No. Steven, what's going on?
Sam, how's it going?
Fabulously.
Andy, I'm a big Office fan. I've probably seen the show all seasons, I don't know, probably 15 times. I'm not even joking.
Steven, you're fucking lying.
No. Andy, I'm not. I tell the show. I just had a question. I didn't How was it working with James Spader or Robert California?
You know what? He was, and I only had a couple of scenes with him, and it was just one day I got to work with him at the very end before he went off to coach the, what is it, the Russian gymnasts, after their gymnastics. He's got to nurture them. He was a great guy, I mean, he is. I didn't get to spend a ton of time with him, but I mean, he couldn't have been a nicer guy. And we share a love of barbecue places. So he was. He's like a big foodie. He knows all the places all over the country. I knew one.
Does he talk like James Spader?
He has that same sort of cadence that it's. I can't even imitate it, but that he talks like that, and there are the pauses, and he's got the great voice.
It's great.
The great Ultron voice.
It really is.
And but just a sweet guy.
Let's go to Aaron. Aaron, welcome to Sam Roberts Show.
Hey, thanks. Hey, Andy, I'm from Marblehead, Massachusetts.
You're from fucking Marblehead? You're kidding me?
Yeah. I know you're from Salem, and there's so many.
Well, I was born in Salem, but then we actually moved to Marblehead. I lived on Shetland Road. Yeah. I went to Glover School. I went to Eveleth. My sister is back. My sister's back there now with her kids, with her girls.
My kids are at the Gary School. If that rings a bell for you, we live near Reds Pond. But I was wondering, so many actors from The Office were from Massachusetts. Was there any connection? Did they know each other, or was it merely coincidence?
They all met at Dunkin' Donuts on the Linway 20 years ago and said, "We're going to create a show." They said, "Give me a couple of regulars. Let's come up with a show." Well, it's funny. I think that's probably just where a lot of smart, funny people come from. I mean, back east. But then B, they all were, Krasinski and B.J. Novak played in the same high school, Little League baseball team in Newton. And Mindy is from that area. Her folks taught at MIT, I think. But the funny connection is, a lot of them actually also worked at Conan. Like Krasinski was an intern at Conan. Angela Kinsey was an intern at Conan, because Conan and Greg Daniels, who came up with the show in the States, created it in the States, were writing partners together at Harvard, like at the Harvard Lampoon, then at SNL, and then when Conan went off to become Conan, and he went off to become Greg Daniels. So they were interns. Yeah, Krasinski, Angela, and one other person, I think. So it's all, there's all kinds of incestuous, if you will, stuff going on there.
I think this was the one you were waiting for.
Incestuous is probably not the right word. But.
Yeah, we're just talking about the Duggars.
Yeah,
so
maybe
it definitely
not right now. Not right now.
Frank, you are on the Sam Roberts Show with Andy Buckley.
And it doesn't get any better than that, Frank.
My man loves to play the commodities. Weren't you very good at the commodities at Merrill Lynch?
That was my middle name. I was the riskiest son of a bitch playing the commodities you ever heard.
You were short in oil when everyone was buying. I mean, you were out of control back then.
I was unbelievable. I can't believe I didn't get sent to jail. I was the riskiest son of a bitch there was. I was like, we're going to put you in these ETFs, the simplest, most conservative. Going to get you some music. I was the most basic guy going.
Well, listen,
Frank.
Andy, I hung up on him already.
Yeah,
I hang up on these guys quick. I don't need to do this.
Sorry, Frank.
The Sam Roberts Show. There's no.
I can't even
there's an
spell
apostrophe because it's possessive. And Jurassic World. What are you doing in Jurassic World?
Oh, Jurassic World. Yeah, I guess I forgot about that. I guess that's a little picture that I'm in.
Hey.
No, that's a great phone call to get. Hey, they want to put you in that. You fucking kidding me?
Do you get eaten by a dinosaur?
I can't tell you that, Sam.
That was a trick, and you just passed my little test.
Tell you that.
Round of applause for that.
Your stockbroker days, I could have gotten you, but not. You're all Hollywooded up now.
They will can me if I say anything. No, well, I'm the dad of the kids, like at the beginning, where I'm in the first 2 minutes of the movie, and then I show up at the end, maybe for a funeral for the kids.
See what he did there?
Maybe for a wedding for one of the kids. We can't know.
You think it's going to be a successful film?
I hope so.
Might make a little bit of money.
I hope so. It's so crazy. Like I guess so. I mean, but I'm in it. Like I'm. You
got a couple minutes.
Dad, I got a couple minutes.
Did you get to read the whole script?
No, they don't. Yeah, I've seen the first 5 pages and the last couple of pages, and then they don't let you see anything else. But shit, it looks exciting as hell.
Yeah. So you saw the trailer and you're like, "Fuck, I'm in that movie." What? Yes.
I made the first trailer. I couldn't believe it. I got a text one morning from a buddy of mine back east. He's like, hey, you're in the trailer, man. And I don't get to speak in the trailer, but you see me. My wife speaks. Judy Greer, you should have her on. She's a hot chick.
She can come on anytime.
She's fun. She said you're not returning her calls.
That's not
she
cool,
said,
Sam.
you got your Paul Feigs and your big timers.
Big time studio.
Well, I was trying to develop a relationship with you, and I didn't want you to think I was scamming on your wife, as many celebrities have in the past.
I got
not scammed on your wife, but thought I was scamming on
my
their
wife.
wives.
My wife's actually big. She got some big acting clients. She's big acting.
Who's one of her clients?
Channing Tatum.
No way!
I didn't mean to direct that to you, Nicole. But
oh my God!
We've all seen Channing's ass.
Yeah. So
it's
delicious.
not bad.
My God.
She's been coaching Jennifer Aniston the last 3 years, and
so
Rachel
you get to hang out with Jennifer Aniston and Rachel McAdams?
That's part of the deal.
That's fucking awesome.
You don't get to work with my wife unless my husband gets to sit in the room.
Like, do they hang out and order Chinese food?
She coached Jared Leto when he won his Oscar.
Whoa.
She coached Matt Bomer when he just won his big, golden.
So
golden
she does.
She's great. I want people to know about her. How freaking great she is.
Tell her to come on this show because I want to ask her about all how shitty people are before she gets her hands on them.
You know what's so? Well, the funny thing is too is she gets she's the teacher. So if anybody has, not that any of those guys do, but if anybody has some attitude about she's the teacher, so she gets the greatest of us. She coached Naomi Campbell once, years ago for something, and there's
not as impressive.
Been a lot of stories about her,
Yeah.
And it was
she throw electronics at your wife?
That's the whole thing. She's she gets the best behavior of every person she's ever with.
Wow.
She is the teacher.
She's the disciplinarian. That's pretty incredible. Well, everybody see Jurassic World, as if I have to tell you that, but more importantly is Odd Mom Out. It starts on Monday. It's going to be on Bravo. And it looks like a hell of a show. I think.
I hope it's. I think it's funny. Hopefully, people do. Frank out there, I hope you and your wife enjoy it, buddy.
By the way,
Frank.
I want you to know you're very popular. We have more phone calls than just not going to them.
Well,
so feel good about yourself today, Andy Buckley.
Thank you, Sam. Thanks, Nicole.
Absolutely.
Guy with the camera. I haven't met you yet.
His name is Paul.
His name's Paul. He gets people's names wrong.
Big Paulie over there making the pasta.
The whole time he screens calls, he gets people's names wrong the entire time. You had no idea. Every day I pick up a phone. Rick. Yeah, it's Nick.
Yeah.
We put down a guy's name was Matt. I picked up the phone and said, Thad, you're on line one.
We got a Dan instead of Dan the other day.
I mean, I don't know what goes on in this kid's brain.
Well, he's not that sharp.
He's not a sharp kid. No,
clearly.
But he's got a hell of a grip on that camera, so he does have a value. Thank you very much for hanging out. Andy Buckley.
Thank you for having me.
You can follow
Sam
him.
Roberts, everybody.
That's
We're
right.
moving to a bigger studio at some point.
And we'll be back
next month
to wrap this thing up in just a couple minutes. Stay right there at Sam Roberts Show. We're raving in the Sam Roberts Show party room.
Woo, woo.
It's a massive studio. Nicole's still here. Sam Roberts Show.
Got my glow sticks.
Live every day starting at noon here on Opie Radio. We're running late. Got to take off. I want to thank everybody who's supporting me on my mission, on my journey. As I've discovered, Nicole, I'm transitioning into a wombat.
Are you?
Yes.
Well, I support that transition.
In my soul, I've always known I've been a wombat for a long time. And I've been getting a lot of photoshops.
Okay.
So you can go to SR Show SXM to find all that. We'll have videos of our guests. We got to get that video up of him talking about Jurassic World ASAP, Paul. ASAP, Paul. And spell Jurassic right. Listen.
Good luck with that.
Nicole, thanks so much for hanging out today. You're just the joy of my life.
Love you, Sam.
Tomorrow, the Big Friday show, we will be live. I promise you that. And you can make your guesses all you want. But we are scheduled to have a guest co-host in the second hour. In the 1 o'clock hour, we are scheduled to have a guest co-host that you know very well from the morning show here on this channel, Opie Radio.
No way.
A very special guest host. It's a name that's been requested by many fans throughout this entire week. The man is scheduled to be here tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern. The show starts live at noon. And, by the way, not only do I have that special guest co-host coming in, which you can all speculate about, but the guy who directed the Nightmare documentary that's all about night paralysis and the shadow figures that come and attack people.
Yeah.
It's a terrifying documentary. The director will be here in studio tomorrow. It's going to be an amazing show to cap off an amazing week. Nicole, you got anything going on?
Not really.
All right, well, listen. Follow Nicole.
Yes.
I swear she's got something going on. On Twitter and Instagram, at Mashup Nicole. You can follow me everywhere at Not Sam, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Also, the Twitter page for the show, SR Show, SXM. Did we get 1,000 today?
Yeah, we did.
That's what I'm talking about.
Slow clap.
That's what I'm talking about. You were listening, ladies and gentlemen, and that's why I love you so much. We will be back tomorrow with a special guest co-host and the director of that Nightmare documentary. Oh, my God, what a show it's going to be. Until then, I'll see you later. Goodbye.